What if I tell you that your body is a holographic projection of your own consciousness? What if I tell you that you can directly influence that hologram and thus have complete control over the physical health of your body? In this video, we'll specifically explore the exact mechanism behind this principle. And of course, we will provide you with scientific evidence. Let's begin. Do you want to become healthy, wealthy, and wise? Thinking your way into success and riches may be as simple as controlling your positive thoughts. One of the key principles of quantum physics is that our thoughts determine our reality. Early in the 1900s, they proved the theory beyond a shadow of a doubt with an experiment called the double-slit experiment. They found that the determining factor of the behavior of energy particles at the quantum level is the awareness of the observer. Now, I know this doesn't make much sense to you right now, but I'm about to play you a video explaining it in a very simple way. The video is only 5 minutes long, but after watching the whole thing, your whole perspective of our reality will completely shift. Take a look.
And here we are, the granddaddy of all quantum weirdness, the infamous double-slit experiment. To understand this experiment, we first need to see how particles, or little balls of matter, act. If we randomly shoot a small object, say a marble, at the screen, we see a pattern on the back wall where they went through the slit and hit. Now, if we add a second slit, we would expect to see a second band duplicated to the right. Now, let's look at waves. The waves hit the slit and radiate out, striking the back wall with the most intensity directly in line with the slit. The line of brightness on the back screen shows that intensity. This is similar to the line the marbles make. But when we add the second slit, something different happens. If the top of one wave meets the bottom of another wave, they cancel each other out. So now there is an interference pattern on the back wall. Places where the two tops meet are the highest intensity, the bright lines, and where they cancel, there is nothing. So, when we throw things, that is, matter, through two slits, we get this, two bands of hits. And with waves, we get an interference pattern of many bands. Good so far. Now, let's go quantum. An electron is a tiny, tiny bit of matter, like a tiny marble. Let's fire a stream through one slit. It behaves just like the marble, a single band. So, if we shoot these tiny bits through two slits, we should get, like the marbles, two bands. What? An interference pattern! We fired electrons, tiny bits of matter through. We get a pattern like waves, not like little marbles. How? How could pieces of matter create an interference pattern like a wave? It doesn't make sense. But physicists are clever. They thought, maybe those little balls are bouncing off each other and creating that pattern. So, they decide to shoot electrons through one at a time. There is no way they could interfere with each other. But after an hour of this, the same interference pattern is seen to emerge. The conclusion is inescapable. The single electron leaves as a particle, becomes a wave of potentials, goes through both slits, and interferes with itself to hit the wall like a particle. But mathematically, it's even stranger. It goes through both slits and it goes through neither. And it goes through just one and it goes through just the other. All of these possibilities are in superposition with each other. But physicists were completely baffled by this. So they decided to peek and see which slit it actually goes through. They put a measuring device by one slit to see which one it went through and let it fly. But the quantum world is far more mysterious than they could have imagined. When they observed, the electron went back to behaving like a little marble. It produced a pattern of 2 bands, not an interference pattern of many. The very act of measuring or observing which slit it went through meant it only went through one, not both. The electron decided to act differently, as though it was aware it was being watched.
This experiment is absolute proof that the quantum world is waiting for us to make a decision so that it knows how to behave. That is why quantum physicists have such difficulties explaining and defining the quantum world. We are truly, in every sense of the word, masters of creation because we decide what manifests out of the field of all possibility and into form. The quantum level of reality isn't a local or insignificant aspect of creation. It is all around us, and it was the most fundamental level of creation. Aside from the unified field itself, the human energy field is interacting and influencing the quantum field all around us at all times, and the energy of our beliefs and intentions are infused into our energy field because they are defined by the energy of our thoughts and emotions. Thus, the fusion of our thoughts, emotions, beliefs, and intentions, which I will call the human energy field for simplicity's sake, is perpetually informing the quantum reality within us and around us of each moment of our existence. And because reality is flashing in and out of existence, every time our reality oscillates between form and the pure energy state of the field, our awareness, which is constant and doesn't flash in and out of existence, informs the field how to reappear when it makes its transition back to form at the quantum level. Therefore, each time we oscillate into formlessness, we have complete and total control and responsibility over what we choose with our attention to manifest out of the field in the next moment, and our power and the ability to do so relies entirely on what we believe and on how we are feeling. A dramatic example of this is the case of Vittorio Miceli. In 1962, he was admitted to the military hospital of Verona, Italy, with a large tumor on his left hip. The doctors knew that they could not help him, so his case was deemed hopeless, and he was sent home without treatment. And after about 10 months, his left hip bone had completely disintegrated. As a last resort, he traveled to Lourdes, France, and bathed himself in a spring there, which is a Christian holy site famous for producing miracles. Immediately, he started feeling better. He regained his appetite and bathed himself in the spring a few more times before he left. After a few months of being home, he felt such a powerful sense of well-being that he urged the doctors to x-ray him again, and they were astonished to find that his tumor had shrunk. Over the next several months, they kept a close watch on him, and his x-rays showed that his tumor kept on shrinking until it was completely gone. And once his tumor disappeared, his hip bone started regenerating. After 2 months, he was walking again, and several years later, his hip bone had completely regenerated. The Vatican's Medical Commission, in their official report, made the following statement: "A remarkable reconstruction of the iliac bone and cavity has taken place. The X-rays made in 1964, 1965, 1968, and 1969 confirm categorically and without doubt that an unforeseen and even overwhelming bone reconstruction has taken place of a type unknown in the annals of world medicine." Ordinarily, this would be deemed miraculous, but I find this miraculous in the sense of the true power of human intention and belief that it displays. Vittorio believed that the miraculous Christian holy site would cure him, and his powerful belief made it so. But the miracle was not performed by God or some holy site, but by the power of his belief and intention. Moreover, this is powerful evidence that suggests that there is an energetic structure which our material bodies align with, because that is one of the only logical explanations for how Vittorio Miceli's hip bone knew exactly which shape to grow back into, unless there was some sort of energetic blueprint which was instructing its growth, which, as the Vatican's Medical Commission clearly stated, was unknown in the annals of world medicine. In medicine, maybe this was unknown, but the same cannot be said for physics at the atomic level. Atoms bond with each other to form molecules which have specific geometric structures, as if there is an energetic blueprint which they are adhering to, which dictates the shapes they maintain together. If our bodies are a projection of consciousness, then our consciousness would create an energetic blueprint which our atoms and molecules align to create our bodies. There is highly suggestive evidence of the existence of this energetic blueprint or human energy field in the new research on DNA, which proves that it transmits, receives, and thus reads energy directly from the field. Miceli's case is a perfect example of our human ability to reorganize that vacuum structure with our energy and intentions, and thus manifest what we desire directly out of the field for truly miraculous results. The fact that he started to feel better and started to believe that he was healed is the key to his healing. Some may want to stick with the belief that God healed this man, and I would agree with you, but you and I would probably disagree on the nature of this God. I contend that you are God, as are we all, because the force we call God is the energy, an infinite consciousness behind creation, and thus when we tap into ourselves as pure consciousness without thought through meditation, then we open ourselves to the infinitude of our own awareness, because we inseparably are that infinite creative consciousness. And when we open up to that energy, we allow ourselves to be flooded with a powerful sense of well-being and knowing, which has astounding power to create reality, and it directly affects our biology. I want you to really internalize the understanding that reality is flashing in and out of form. This is absolutely crucial in understanding our ability to heal, because if half of the time we are formless, then first, who are we really? Because obviously our bodies in the material world are illusory to a degree. And second, what is the blueprint which is guiding the rearrangement of our bodies each time we quite literally rematerialize? The answer to both questions would be consciousness. Our bodies are a holographic projection of our consciousness, and they are the sum total of our beliefs about ourselves. If we can change our beliefs about ourselves, and thus if we can change the energy that defines our human energy field, then we can change the energetic blueprint which our body aligns with, as it rematerializes back into form 1,044 times per second. Deepak Chopra told this story that illustrates this perfectly in his book, How to Know God. A friend of his injured his foot while working out at a gym because he was unaccustomed to using one of the machines, and he strained it. The pain in his foot increased over the next few days, and he found it increasingly difficult to walk. So upon medical examination, it was found that he had a common ailment known as plantar fasciitis, in which the connecting tissue between the heel and the front of the foot had been stretched or torn. His friend decided not to have surgery and instead to tough it out. But in time, he found it so painful and difficult to walk that he sought out a Chinese healer in desperation. This Chinese man was ordinary by appearance and gave no evidence of being mystical or spiritual, or in any way gifted in healing. The injured friend of Deepak Chopra said the following: "After gently feeling my foot, he stood up and made a few signs in the air behind my spine. He never actually touched me, and when I asked what he was doing, he simply said he was turning some switches in my energy field. He did this for a minute or so, and then asked me to stand up. I did, and there was no sensation of pain, not the slightest. You have to remember that I had limped in, barely able to walk." In complete amazement, I asked him what he had done. He told me that the body was an image projected by the mind, and in a state of health, the mind keeps this image intact and balanced. However, injury and pain can cause us to withdraw our attention from the affected spot. In that case, the body image starts to deteriorate. Its energy patterns become impaired, unhealthy, so the healer restores the correct pattern. This is done instantly, on the spot, after which the patient's own mind takes responsibility for maintaining it that way. This story has fascinated and inspired me ever since I heard it. As we have seen, reality is flashing in and out of existence, innumerable times every second, oscillating between form and formlessness, and quantum physics knows that our thoughts and beliefs influence the quantum reality, which is the source of the material world. Therefore, it is only natural to assume an energetic and formless source for all of creation, including our physicality. I think it is absolutely clear that we must start to consider ourselves as more than a physical body. In truth, it is much more coherent to think about ourselves as a luminous energy field, organizing ourselves in a body, or as pure consciousness manifesting and temporarily experiencing this level of reality through our bodies. New evidence is clearly illustrating that our mind is non-local and is independent of the brain, which means it doesn't need the brain or the body, for that matter, to exist. We are so much more than we think, and infinitely more than we have been led to believe. The next step that we have to take, moreover, the next step in our human evolution, now involves us learning how to use and hone this power. We have to influence reality and literally manifest anything we want directly out of the field. We can manifest a new hip, better eyesight, or a fit and healthy body, all the way to a new life, which is the life of our dreams. To heal, all that we need to do is purify our energy so that the energetic projection of our body is unobstructed. Then our atoms and molecules can align perfectly to the structure because there is no energetic interference to disrupt the image of our body as projected by our consciousness. We do this by getting in the gap between our thoughts, where our beliefs no longer affect our reality. For when we are not thinking, we are also free of beliefs and expectations, and by doing this, we are aligning ourselves with universal principles and matching our energy with the energies coming directly from the field of all possibility. Those high-frequency energies of love, kindness, inspiration, passion, joy, and so on. The first step is to consider the possibility that we are not only energy, but that there is infinite energy all around us, which we can consciously tap into to promote healing in our body and mind, to become a more happy, healthy, vibrant, and creative being. As soon as you start to connect to the infinite energy of creation and your own true nature as formless energy, then you start to become aware of these energies in your body, which returns the projection of your body to its natural state. The projection of your body can only be disrupted by a disturbance in your energy field your consciousness caused by unbalanced thoughts and emotions and limiting beliefs. Our luminous energy field is naturally vibrant, and our energy naturally flows unhindered as a powerful stream of consciousness. But the lower levels of consciousness, which we have been conditioned to live in as part of our social indoctrination, disrupts this flow, which, if left unhindered, would express its perfection everywhere. Another key concept to understand is that your body is always regenerating. Atoms do not age, they do not die, and the same atoms that existed during the Big Bang around 14 billion years ago exist to this day, some of which are even within you. Every year, 98% of the atoms in your body are exchanged for new atoms. You are constantly dying and being reborn and literally transforming at the atomic and molecular levels. Every 3 days, you have a new stomach lining. Every month, you have new skin. Every 3 months, you have a new skeleton. And every year, you have almost an entirely new body. Deepak Chopra described it beautifully by saying that our atoms are like migrating birds. They are not permanent. They are completely independent and are drifting through space and time and merely being organized into structures, such as our bodies, by none other than our energy field, which organizes them as a magnetic field organizes metal filings, only slightly more complex. What more proof do we need in order to start looking at our bodies differently and in general, looking at the mechanism of health itself in a new light? None of the raw materials that form your physical body actually age. Moreover, they are constantly changing. Therefore, I ask this of you. Is it really you that is changing? And what is the force that organizes these atoms and molecules back where they are supposed to be and makes sure that they are perfectly and harmoniously continuing to do their jobs, even while your cells and atoms are migrating by the billions? Your body is not the real you. Your body is merely a projection of what you believe yourself to be. If you could discover that you are pure consciousness and that who you really are is an infinite creative awareness that is manifesting reality and co-creating reality with other aspects of yourself, because every being is an expression of the infinite universal consciousness we have labeled as God, then you can start to take complete control over your body, your health, and your life. Chronic pain, disease, illness, or the old injuries that you have in your body are not actually in your body. They are in your mind. More specifically, they are a function of your perception. Your atoms are always changing, and your molecules are too. But as new atoms come, and as new molecules are formed, and as you flash in and out of existence, your energetic field is telling them where to go, what to do, and how to align with each other. Therefore, you are holding disease, illness, pain, and injuries within your consciousness, and thus They are imprinted in your energetic field, and only then do they proceed to manifest in your physiology. If this is the case, then not only is our health completely under our willful control, but the rate at which we age may even be under our control as well. I'm not suggesting that we can be immortal, because we already are as infinite beings of consciousness. What I am suggesting is that in a time long forgotten and in the near future, human beings have had and will realize again the ability to live from this field and live consciously from their nature as luminous beings of pure energy. At that time, human beings will realize that the body is a manifestation of our higher self, and we can not only consciously manifest anything in life, but anything in our bodies as well. And one day, we will reach a point where we can continually regenerate our bodies at will. Because we exist from the field of infinite energy, and thus our bodies simply operate at a higher frequency, so that we can live in them until our work is completed, and we choose to move on. These changes are noticeable within the human body and mind, even after a little bit of practice and training. So decide to feel and experience it for yourself and learn how to meditate. This is what evidence is clearly suggesting, and my own experience also indicates to be true. The only hindrance to tapping into this nature of the universe is your own conscious awareness, your level of attention, and your beliefs. Our ability to heal is directly related to our level of attention and our level of belief. We can heal ourselves of any affliction, illness, disease, or injury. That is possible as long as we have absolute certainty and knowing that we will be healed. This is directly achieved by accessing the most fundamental level of reality through deep meditation. This is because of the fundamental level of reality. Anything is possible, and the restructuring of reality is dictated entirely by our beliefs and expectations. We are pure energy, and there is infinite potential in that energy. It is entirely up to us what we choose to manifest out of the field in our lives and in our bodies. You have no limitations, and nothing is impossible. It is only your beliefs which dictate what you can and cannot do. Miracles happen not in opposition to nature, but in opposition to what we know of nature. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button. And if you are new, feel free to subscribe.